And sometimes we just have to say, Lord, give me you. Everything else can wait. Lord, give me you.
Hey, mama said.
Morning, church family. God is good, isn't he? He continues to bless us, and we are eternally grateful for the blessings that He sent our way. We thank God for allowing us to come out to the house of prayer, where we can lift our voice in praise and give Him the glory and the praise He so richly deserves. Let's give God a hand clap of praise. He is so good and so kind and so much. We could not make it in this life without Him. Neither do we enjoy the life to come and eternity. Shall we stand and read our responsive reading? Our responsive reading coming from 2 Corinthians, 5th chapter, verse 1 through 8. As our president would say, 2 Corinthians. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God, an house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. If so be that being clothed we shall not be found naked. Now he that hath wrought us for the selfsame thing is God, who also hath given us the earnest of spirit. For we walk by faith and not by sight. We are confident and safe and willing to be absent from the body and be present with the Lord. Amen, amen.
Time now for the altar of prayer. Anyone desiring to come, we'd like for you to do that. Otherwise, you would just stand if you didn't want to come. The privilege is yours. Whosoever will, let them come. Freely I give, freely you receive. Last portion of that responsive reading says that we walk, we are confident, I said, and willing rather to be absent from the body than to be present with the Lord. I'm glad right now that we are not absent at this particular time. I'm glad to be here. know when I leave here, I got somewhere to go. Yes. And this is the preparation time. But I'm thank God for another privilege. God, our Father, we come at this time because you've been better to us than we've been to ourselves. Our Father, you watched over us all night long. And as the psalmist said, you watched over us all night. And our Father, you started us on another day. Our Father, you brought us through many dangers, toils and snares. Yes. Our Father, we want to thank you. We can't pay you, but we can say thank you. Oh God, we thank you for the love, our Father, that you shared it, and the love that you've given us, the best that you had, and that was yourself. Because God loved us so much, he gave his only begotten Son. That whosoever believe in him would not perish, but have everlasting life. Thank you for life. Thank you, Lord, for all you've done and what you're going to do. Oh God, we ask you to bless our pastor. Crown his head with wisdom. Give him knowledge. Give him understanding. Not only him, our Father, we pray you bless his associate ministers. Not only them, our Father, but bless everyone that's been born again. And God, our Father, don't forget those that don't know you. Let them know, God, that they're going to have to leave you one day. They're going to have somebody to help them to cross the river of Jordan. And our Father, if they accept you, our Father, you will be there to help them to cross. Oh God, bless the sick in the short end. Bless my sisters and my brothers. In the name of Jesus, our Father, bless those that call upon the name of the Lord. For they shall be saved. Oh God, we need you, our Father, right now. I ask you, oh God, to bless the sick in the short end, wherever they may be. And oh Lord, bless our nation. Bless our leaders of our country. Bless mankind everywhere. And oh Lord Jesus, we need you right now. Our Father, because in you we live and move and have our being. Lord Jesus, we need you, our Father, to help us to think right. We need you to help us to walk right. We need you, Lord. We need you every day of our lives. Lord Jesus, we need you in the sick. We need you, Lord, because we can't do without you, Lord. Lord, when we come down on this side of the river, while we have to study one of the Lord, Lord, you meet us. We don't know where, and we don't know how. But Lord, we don't got to stand before you. Our Father, help us to meet us, because we have somebody that cares for us. Just tell us and make up our dying bed. Because when this life is over, we can say, we hear you say, well done. How good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over few things. Come on, God! Get a little higher. I'll make everything all right. These are no blessings we ask in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. His own body done that peace, and my soul needs resting place. His own body done that peace, oh, my soul needs resting place. I wanna go higher, 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 higher. Oh, God, resting. He got resting. Just that peace, my soul needs resting place.
Good morning. For announcements for today. The Most Shoals District Missionary Baptist Association, I greet you in the precious and profound name of Jesus Christ. I am anticipating the opportunity to share with you in our annual session. This year's session will be held on October 18th at the Cave Spring Missionary Baptist Church, Muscle Shoals. The business session will begin at 6 p.m. and the moderator's annual address will follow at 7 p.m. Each church is to register with $100 and each delegate with a personal registration of $20. All pastors and ministers are asked to register with $25. Yours in Christ, Reverend Carlos B. Felton, moderator. To all pastors and churches, from the desk of the first vice moderator, Leota Ingram, this letter is to inform you that we are asking that you bring a special love offering of $100 or whatever you can give during the annual session for our beloved moderator to show him how much we love and appreciate the work he has and is doing for the association. Remember, Hebrews 13:16 says, do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God. May God continue to bless you. This is from yours in Christ, Leota Ingram. The Macedonian Church family celebrates the 10th pastoral anniversary on October 14th for Pastor Laurel Gibbs and family. The celebration begins at 11:15 a.m. with Minister Jacob Gurley of Gurley Ministry, Faulkner, Mississippi, and 2:30 p.m. service with Bishop Thomas Davis, Willow Chapel Church, Cortland, preaching the word. The Macedonia Church family would like to extend an invitation for you to come and celebrate with us 10 blessed years for our pastor and family. Yours in Christ, Sister Annie Fitzgerald, Pastor's Aide, President. To all Bethel Carver women, our women's conference is Saturday, October 20th at 9 a.m. and Sunday, October 21st at 8 a.m. If you have items for our gift bag, as we discussed in our last Wednesday night meeting, please leave them in the Secretary's office or with Minister Holiday. Our deadline for the items is Wednesday, October the 17th, unless you plan to come fill the bags at 4 p.m. on Friday, October the 19th. Also, remember to please invite someone to be your guest at these services. God bless. Minister Ernestine Holiday. Dear Pastor Thompson, warm greetings. On behalf of our pastor and the anniversary committee, I'm extending an invitation to you and your congregation to join us in our celebration of the first anniversary for our pastor, Alfonso Boyne, and the First Lady, Sylvia Boyne, by hosting the morning service at 11 a.m. on Sunday, November the 4th, asking your officers and congregation to serve. Looking forward to this worship experience. Dinner will be served. Thanking you in advance, Sister Christine Doxley, Chairperson, Pastor Alfonso Boyne. The District Association Talent Show. Singing, poetry, comedy, creative dance, playing instruments. We want to recognize your talent. You do not have to be a youth to participate. Adult talent is welcome. This is Sunday, October the 14th, 2018 at 4 p.m. at the Carver County High School Auditorium. For more information, please contact Ron Coffey, 256-565-5754, or Gladys Scruggs, 256-303-8676. The Sanctuary Choir will not have rehearsal Saturday, but all women will have rehearsal Saturday at 12 o'clock for the Women's Day on Sunday, October the 21st. Happy birthday to Krishna Stanley on today. Love, Mom, and honesty. Happy birthday to our sweet and spicy granddaughter, Tamara Whiteside, from Nana and Granddaddy Cleveland. The Fall Festival will be held on October 31st. We're asking each household for a bag of candy and a 2-liter soda. Thank you in advance for your help. The Fall Festival Committee. A special happy 15th birthday to Tamara Whiteside, and a special happy 20th birthday to Krishna Stanley, both celebrating their birthdays on today. From your family, we love you both and proud of you. The Shoals Area Co-op Incorporated Annual Fish Fry Catfish Fillet fundraiser on Saturday, November the 3rd, 2018, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. $10 donation per plate. It's at 500 South Montgomery Avenue, Town Plaza Shopping Center in Sheffield. Please come and eat lunch with us. Eat in or carry out. Carry out. Shoals Area Co-home. For more information and tickets, see Reverend Perry Burgess. All choirs will sing today, 6 p.m., St. James Meeting, Pastor Davidson Campaign Rally. Wear black. Thought for today, God is God alone.
We got a new church bus, and everybody ride the old bus, half of their seatbelt didn't work. The new bus, all our seatbelt work. If it fit me, it'll fit you. So why thank you.
I remember just for the record, I got a birthday coming up Tuesday. No, I'll be 45. Turn around, I'll be 54.
Amen. God bless each and every one of you. Good morning, Bethel Power. Let's just give God another hand. Have a praise for all of us. Goodness, His mercy is everlasting. I thank God for each and every one of you. I certainly want to appreciate this man's choir, our music ministry, our praise and worship ministry, our ushers, our audio, our video media ministry. Thank God for you all's service and making this service what it is. Amen. Speaking of the praise and worship ministry, I just want to ask everybody to give them a hand. Listen, yesterday, they went over to Mitchell Hollingsworth Nursing Home and sung songs as Pastor Burgess gave an encouraging message to the residents there at Mitchell Hollingsworth. You all know that Sister Burgess is still there, and our praise and worship ministry sung great. I was not there, but I went to go visit. Me and First Lady went to go visit Sister Burgess, and she was just telling me all about it. Reverend Burgess telling me how great they did. I just want the church to give them a hand for doing that. I think Cassandra, she is. I think Cassandra, she went over and played for them, and just that's what ministry is all about. Yeah. I certainly thank each and every one of you. And once again, Sister Burgess is continuing to do great. She's in great spirits, and we're continuing to lift her up in prayer. Happy birthday to honestly, I didn't know y'all had the same birthday. 15 and 20. There y'all go. 15 and 20. Y'all got the same birthday, right? Today's the birthday. 15 and 20. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. And I think Sister Josie Burgess, did you celebrate a birthday yesterday?
No, mine's January 4th.
Hold on. Somebody told me wrong now.
Nathan Jackson's birthday's today too.
Who is that?
Nathan Jackson.
Nathan, your birthday today? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Your birthday coming up. That's Sister Josie. Somebody told me your birthday was a couple days ago. I don't know. Huh? Somebody told me. I'm not sure, but you know what?
I was told I was January 4th.
January 4th. Amen, amen. Listen, just a few things. If you have not got a chance to take a look at the nursery, my God, when I walked in there, I didn't know what room I was in. Have y'all, anybody, those of you who've seen it, doesn't the nursery look wonderful? They painted the walls and put up some pictures and done some other things, and I just thank everybody who have worked diligently to make that happen. So I just want to, and if you haven't seen it, make sure before you leave
just take a peek inside there because you will be surprised. It looks great in there. As Sister Nellis announced, we do have the women's conference coming up this weekend, encouraging all of our women to be there Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for the women's breakfast. Sister Liz Webb is going to be our speaker. All right. Sister Webb, you ready? You ready? She's going to be our speaker on that Saturday. We definitely look forward to fellowshipping. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Minister Holiday, are we still opening up? It's just not for women, right? Are the men able to attend? I'm just asking. Okay, if they would like. Now if that changes, you just let me know. But I wanted to put it out there if that was the case. But certainly all of our women, as Sister Nellis announced, other women that you know, please invite them out. And then, of course, on next Sunday, we're going to continue with our Women's Conference weekend, our Women's Day celebration. During our 8 o'clock morning worship service, asking all women to sing and listen. I know that we have a lot of women in our mass choir, in our sanctuary choir, in our youth choir, but if you happen to be one of those women who are in no choir, this is your day to be in a choir. This is your chance to sing once a year. And we are encouraging all of our women to do that. Be here Saturday for practice at 12 noon, and asking, we're going to get a sanctuary choir break, and asking for all of our women to sing. And our guest speaker for next Sunday will be no other than Minister Holiday. She's going to come and bring the word. And I told her, of course, we are so accustomed to having her teach for us in Bible study and Sunday school, and she does such a great job. So I told her, I don't want you to teach, I want you to preach. Amen. I want you to preach. So next Sunday. So we definitely look forward to our women's conference breakfast and our Women's Day worship. Listen, there's something I want to let you know. It's not on the calendar because there was some still things we were trying to work out before and the calendar was already put out before we could make it official and put confirmation on it. But on the fourth Sunday of this month, we're going to have our college Sunday. We're going to have a college group come and be our guest choir that day. And you all know, I think we did it in November of last year. But I'm asking you to do it on the fourth Sunday. It's already our casual Sunday as it is, but wear your college that you went to, wear that college paraphernalia, or your favorite college team, your favorite school, wear that paraphernalia, wear those colors on fourth Sunday as we celebrate College Sunday. We want to hopefully have a lot of our UNA students come out and worship with us on that day. So just want to give you a heads up about that. Don't forget that we'll be traveling to First Baptist in Russellville immediately after this service. We're not going to do Sunday school because we're going to try to make it over there somewhere between 10:45 and 11 o'clock. I told Pastor Bonner that that'll be the time frame, but I want to try to make it closer to 10:45, then 11 if we can. Our sanctuary choir will be singing, so I need for sure the sanctuary choir to go. But listen, I know that we have a busy day today. We have First Baptist there after this service. We have our district youth talent show at 4 o'clock in Carver County. Then, of course, the mass choir will be singing at St. James at 6 o'clock tonight. So listen, I say that to say, I don't want you to stretch yourself thin. I need the sanctuary choir with me at First Baptist. But for everybody else, now, if you're able to go, you want to go, I'm not telling you not to go. But for everybody else, I don't want you to feel obligated because we do have a busy day. I don't want you to run yourself crazy. So the option is yours as far as First Baptist in Russellville. But for sure, the sanctuary choir, if you will do me a favor, I greatly appreciate it, and come and back us up there for Pastor Bonner and their church anniversary. Do we have any visitors with us? Any visitors? Well, if not, that's all I have, y'all. And good to see you. I see Sister Ann in the back. So good to see you. Amen. Let's give her a hand. We know that she's so good to see her face in the building this morning. Listen, give a hand to this great man's choir as they come back.
what name that God did real, for I can feel Him with me. The folk may come, all can desert and leave me alone. I'll take God's I'll take God's sword, for God is real, for I can feel Him in my heart. Yes, God is real. He lives in my soul. God is real.
never met a man that can open any door. He can save and he can heal. Be still. I never met a man like Jesus before. I never met a man like Jesus before. Nobody. They hung my name on the cross one day. They burned him too, and they laid him in the grave. But the angels came from heaven, rolling stone away. He got a word, people had to say, nobody. Talk to Sister Mary and this life too. He told them that mission is what I was doing. He was sending to the crowd. Be by his father's side. Oh, Jesus, and Jesus in the eye. Thank you, Sister McGaha. And Sister McGaha, if you don't mind me sharing about the end of the year. Okay, I just want to let the church know that Sister McGaha, she came to me a couple of months ago and said that it's about that time. She served the Lord in such a length of time, and in that length of time, in such a great way. And she said at the end of the year, she's going to hang it up as far as playing on second Sundays for our band's choir. And Sister Freeman, she's going to take over and start playing. But I just wanted to say that because the time is getting near to the end of the year. So we only have couple of Sundays left with us. Sister McGaha, we are definitely going to make sure that we give you the honor and recognition that you are due in December. But I just wanted to let the church know that. And even though she still got 2 months with us, let's just give her a hand right now. Amen. Whole family. Whole family musicians. Hopefully my boy can like it.
As much as he play.
Brother Ron, you got that old Jackson 5 thing going on, don't you? Amen. God bless each and every one of you. Listen, turn with me to 1 Peter chapter 1. We're going to go back to where we left off last week. 1 Peter chapter 1. 1 Peter chapter 1. Going to part 2. What we discussed last week. 1 Peter chapter 1, and we're going to read those same verses we read last week, verses 13 through 16. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13 through 16. You may read silently while I read aloud. I reread from the King James Version. God's word says, "Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. As obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. Because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy." Amen. Amen. Once again, part 2 on this topic, living a holy life. Living a holy life. To just summarize what we discussed last week briefly, for those of you who may not have been here. Last week, I opened up this topic, this thought, speaking about the expectations God has for us to be holy. Throughout the Bible, you read about a multitude of expectations we have as believers and followers of Christ. Having no other gods, not taking the Lord's name in vain, honoring your mother and your father, not killing, not stealing, trusting the Lord with all of your heart, loving your neighbor as you love yourself, denying yourself, picking up your cross and following him, forsaking not the assembly of the saints, forgiving others as God has forgiven you. All of those are expectations placed on us in a relationship with God. And those are just a few. But these expectations, along with many others, can all be summed up under one big umbrella of the ultimate expectation, and that's the expectation God has for you and I to be holy.
All right.
For being holy covers everything. We talked about that word holy in the Greek, hagios, means to be set apart. As a Christian believer, God expects us to be set apart from the world. He expects us to be set apart from the things of the world. He expects us to be set apart from the ways of the world.
All right.
And I posed these questions to you all last week, and I posed them again to you this week. Are you meeting God's expectations? Do you obtain the requirements to live a holy life?
All right.
Are you living set apart? I gave you the first point last week on what it takes to live a holy life. And first of all, God needs your attention. That was the first point we covered, the only point we covered last week. God needs your attention. Peter said in verse 13 to gird up the loins of your mind and be sober. Listen, to live holy, you have to think holy. Your mind, your thoughts, your attention must be on God. As Paul said in Philippians chapter 2, verse 5, let the same mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus. I use for an example, those of you who remember, the image of NBA superstar LeBron James throwing his hands out to his teammate at the time, J.R. Smith, in game 1 of last year's NBA Finals because J.R. Smith made a mistake which cost them the game. All due to the fact that J.R. Smith did not have his head in the game. LeBron James, J.R. Smith's leader, did not have his attention. And there are many times when God, who is our leader, does not have our attention as well. And because he does not have our attention, because our head is not where it needs to be, we make costly mistakes in a life that keeps us from living up to the expectation of being holy. Keeps us from living a holy life. Once again, the audience that Peter is speaking to here, the background context in this book of 1 Peter, Peter is speaking to new converted believers of faith who are under persecution, being under strenuous circumstances. Peter does not want them to lose their faith or lose their focus, which is why he is telling them here in verse 13 to stay attentive. Peter is saying to them, let God have your attention. Keep your mind on him, because keeping your mind on God is what will allow you to do what I'm about to tell you next.
Yes, sir.
Look at the rest of verse 13. Look at the rest of verse 13. Peter says, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind. Be sober. We dealt with that part last week. Look at the rest of verse 13. He says, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ.
All right, God.
The Greek word for end there, that word end that you see in verse 13, the Greek word is teleos, and it means perfect completion. So Peter is saying here, have perfect, complete hope.
Yeah.
For the grace, a better translation for that word for is actually upon. So Peter is saying here, have perfect, complete hope upon the grace brought to you at the revelation of Christ.
All right.
You have to imagine that there were some in the fold at that time, this audience that Peter is speaking to, there were some who, due to the persecution they faced, had their minds filled with fear and with worry and with confusion. Listen, it's hard to have hope for anything. It's hard to have hope in any way, let alone a perfect, complete hope.
All right.
When your mind is filled with those things. Which is why Peter is strategic in telling them to lift up their minds, to gird up the loins of their minds, and to be sober first. And then he tells them to have hope. I want you don't miss it. Don't miss it. He first tells them to sober up, make sure your attention is there, and then have hope.
All right.
Because you cannot hope in that which your mind is not connected with in the first place. Let me say that again. You cannot hope for that which your mind, your attention is not connected to in the first place. He's saying to live holy, to continue to live holy, even under these circumstances. Make sure your attention is on God so that God can be your hope. Although right now, you're persecuted for being holy.
All right.
Keep your attention on him, because later on, you will profit from living holy.
Right.
You will profit from Jesus coming back just for you. Peter is saying here, don't put your full hope upon me. Don't put your full hope upon the other apostles. Don't put your full hope upon fighting back. But put your full hope upon the grace you will receive when Jesus comes back. What grace will be received, you might ask? The grace received is when he comes back, he's coming back to get you.
All right.
The grace received is when he comes back, He's coming back to take you away from the persecution. The grace received is when he comes back. He's coming back for those who are alive and remain, and they shall be caught up with the clouds, in the clouds, to meet the Lord in the air.
All right, God.
And my brothers and sisters, out of all the reasons you have to want to live holy, that ought to be the biggest reason. You ought to want to live holy so that one day you can make it to that holy place. Come on now, I know. You ought to want to live holy so that one day you can make it to that holy place. That's why you cannot let anything or anybody or any situation draw your attention away from him. That's why you cannot let anything or anybody or any situation draw your hope away from him, but rather be determined to live a holy life with conviction and tell yourself that my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and the righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but I wholly lean on Jesus' name. Listen, first of all, I wanted to wrap up that first point. First of all, if we are to live a holy life, God needs your attention. And number two, secondly, write this down. If you and I are going to live a holy life, if we want to live a holy life, not only does God need our attention, but number two, God needs our actions. God needs our actions. Look at verse 14. Look at verse 14. It's right there. Verse 14. Peter says, like obedient children, do not be conformed to the desires that you formerly had in your ignorance. Peter here uses another analogy to open up the verse by saying, like obedient children. Look at that. Like obedient children. This is a reference the people he's speaking to can relate. Because remember, these are new converts. These are recent born-again believers. So they're not too far removed from being out of relationship. But now, even though they are in relationship with him, because of its newness, it has not matured fully just yet. However, it's matured just enough at this point that God has expectations of them to be obedient.
All right, now.
And that speaks to a lot of people right here in our own sanctuary, in our own church. You all know one of the things I rejoice over and I constantly give God thanks for it. And it's something that I pray that you all as a congregation, as a church, rejoice over and constantly give God thanks for is the blessing that our church have taken in. Over 25 members have done. We conducted about 15 baptisms in just the course of 1 year. And I said it to say, as someone who is new to Christ, we brought in a lot of people not only new to this church, but who are new to Christ. As someone new to Christ, as these people are here, you may not have the years or the time put into the relationship as others. But that does not mean the expectations are different.
That's right. That's right.
God expects of you the same he expects of someone who's been with him since 1953.
That's right.
Listen, it's just like a relationship you get into with a significant other. Me and First Lady Thompson have been together for 10 years, started dating in 2008, right there at UNA. And as soon as we got into the relationship, my expectations were there. There was no, well, if she lies to me, well, if she mistreats me or if she abuses me, then I'm just going to let it slide because, this relationship is new. No! She decided that she was ready to be in a relationship. And by the way, she didn't do none of that, by the way. She was a good girlfriend, been a good wife. Just have to say that. But I said it to say, she decided that she was ready to be in the relationship, which means she decided to take on the expectations of a relationship. Listen, let me say this. You made the choice to say, Lord, I want to follow you. You made the choice to say, Lord, I want you to be in my life. You made the choice to say, Lord, I want to be in relationship with you. And with that choice, God set expectations onto you from the very beginning. God said, if you want to be with me, then you better act like you want to be with me. God said, if you want to be with me, then you better act like you know me. And whether you've been in a relationship with him on this Christian journey for 2 months or for 75 years to live a holy life, God expects you to act like you know him. God expects you to act like you want to be with him. Proverbs chapter 20 verse 11 says, even children make themselves known by their acts, by whether what they do is pure and right. God needs your action. Needs your actions. To live holy, Peter says, you have to be obedient and don't be conformed to the desires you used to have in your ignorance. He says you were not aware of how to act back in the former days before you accepted Christ. Any of y'all remember them days? Come on, y'all be real. Anybody? I hear Dr. E. Dewey Smith, he calling them BC days. Y'all remember them BC days, your before Christ days? Now, I don't want y'all thinking about it. I don't want y'all thinking about it too long, because y'all might get an idea too. Everybody has had some BC days. Peter said, your before Christ days were filled with pagan living. All right, God. He listed them later on in chapter 4, verse 3. In fact, I want you to turn there with me real quick. In fact, turn there and look at the screen. Look at 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 3. Because he talks about this ignorance that they used to formerly live in here in chapter 1. But if you go over to chapter 4, he actually lists those. Look at chapter 4, verse 3. This is the NIV. He says, for you have spent enough time in the past doing what pagans choose to do. Living in debauchery, lust, drunkenness, orgies, carousing, and detestable idolatry. Peter, he reminds them of what they used to do. But here in 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 14, he's urging them to not go back to that way of living. Don't go back to such unholy actions. Do you know why, Pastor Little, why a lot of people don't want to accept Jesus? Do you know why people throw Jesus away after making the decision to accept him? It's because they know accepting Jesus restricts them from doing what they want to do. There are a lot of people who wants no one to control their lives, wants no one to tell them what to do, and that includes God. Listen, part of living a holy life calls for us to act and behave in accordance to the structure God gives us. God needs our actions to reflect who he is and what he's about. That's right. Therefore, if God is love, our actions cannot be that of him. If God is truth, our actions cannot be that of untruth. If God is righteous, our actions cannot be that of unrighteous. We cannot go back to the actions we used to have that did not have God in them, but rather our actions must be all about God. And listen, you have to be careful of what you allow the world to tell you, because there are a lot of situations when somebody comes to Christ, or even years, decades down the line, when you've been solidified in Christ, the people in the world will tell you that it's not worth it. You got a lot of people in the world who will try to lure you back in by telling you God ain't real. You got a lot of people in the world who will try to lure you back in by telling you there ain't no point in going to that church. You got a lot of people in the world who will try to lure you back in by telling you you only live once, so you might as well have bud, and forget about that God stuff. You got a lot of people in the world who are trying to lure you back in and tell you don't have to give your money to those tithes and to those offerings. You got a lot of people in the world who are trying to lure you back in and tell you that Christianity is just some made up fake religion. Listen, you cannot let the world influence you. Instead, you have to remain holy and let your actions influence the world. Tell and show the world that I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. So that's why I'm going to live holy. You got to learn how to tell and show the world I love the Lord. He heard my cry and pitied my every groan. Long as I live in trouble rise, I'll hasten to his throne. So that's why I'm going to live holy. You got to learn how to tell and show the world that I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed because the angels in heaven just found my name. So that's why I'm going to live holy. You got to learn how to tell and show the world he woke me up this morning. He allowed the blood to be warm in my veins. He gave me the activity of my limbs. He put food on my table. He put clothes on my back. He put shoes on my feet. He put a roof over my head. He put a steering wheel in my hand. He put a direct deposit in my bank account. So that's why I'm going to live holy. That's why I'm going to act like I know him. That's why I'm going to act like I love him. That's why I'm going to act like I'm holy. That's why I'm going to act like I'm set apart, because the Lord has been too good to me not to obey him. The Lord has been too good to me not to have my actions. The Lord has been too good to me not to live a holy life. He's been too good. He's been too good. In fact, if somebody ever question your holiness, tell him he's just been too good. Somebody ever question why you live like that, just tell him that he's been too good. Everybody ever question why you at church all the time, just let them know he's been too good. Anybody ever question why you give your money to the church, why you give your 10%? That church ain't doing nothing with that money. Just tell them he's been too good. Anybody ever question why do you usher, why do you sing in the choir, why do you serve in this ministry, why do you go out and pray with the outreach ministry? Let them know that he's been too good. And listen, I don't know about you, but that's why I walk this faith journey. That's why I make sure my attention, my head is in the game. That's why I make sure that my actions are aligned with who he is and what he's about. Because God has been too good to me for me to act like I don't know him. He's been too good to me for me to act like I'm in a fake relationship with him instead of an authentic, real, genuine relationship with him. God needs your actions. Listen, I'm about done. First of all, to live a holy life, God needs our attention. To live a holy life, God needs our actions. But thirdly, number three, lastly, to live a holy life, God needs our alliance. Somebody say alliance. God needs our alliance. Right here, verses 15 and 16. Look at it. But as he which had called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. Because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. As believers, we shall make it a daily effort to model ourselves after God. Even though we know